Have you ever wanted to have something really cool on your game table to represent the Call Lightning spell? If so, this video is going to be for you. This is going to be Dungeons & Dragons crafting Call Lightning. Hi guys, I'm DM Dunn, and today we're going to craft something to represent the spell Call Lightning for your game table. My goal, I haven't made these yet, again, but my goal is to have a cloud. It won't be the full, 120-foot radius like the spell actually says, but just something to represent it. But I want to have this dark cloud to kind of put on the game table that's up above it with lightning inside of it to kind of represent how really neat the spell actually is. And I can promise you this, if you make this and you have a character on your game table that uses it and you put this out there, they're probably going to keep calling it and they're probably going to keep using it versus forgetting they have it and not using it. And it's a pretty cool spell to have. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So a few things that I did, I'll put a link in the description below, is that I went on Amazon and I bought some of these lights. And it does come with a remote control as well. And this actually has 2 sets. And the reason I got the one with 2 sets is because it was cheaper than buying a single. So this had 2 sets for $10. And so I went ahead and got 2 of them. So you can get the same thing with 1 set for $10, but why not get the doubles? That's what I found. So I did that. And then I went to the Dollar Tree and I bought this, I guess it's probably a beer stein, because I think it swoops up and looks really cool. And what I like about it is that I don't have to add any weight to the bottom because you can see it's already pretty thick and nice and heavy. And the other thing is the top's going to be pretty big, so I like the wide top, which is going to help us with all the stuff that we're going to put on top as well, so it's less likely to tip over. So that's why I chose this. Otherwise, I was going to have to put some sand or something in the bottom for that. So what I did in order to prepare is I got some dowel rods, a package of these, and I got 6 of the skinny ones. And I went ahead and just pre-painted them white. And the theory is that these are going to go up here at the top, and I'll spread them out. And then this is what we're going to attach the clouds to, the puffy clouds to. And I just want them to be white so they kind of help hide them and make them disappear inside of the clouds. The other thing I did is I got a paper towel roll, and I also painted it white as well. But you're going to see that I already have something connected in here. So what I did is I realized that I wasn't going to need the whole paper towel, but I wanted to go into the bottom of this. So I was able to cut off the top, and it's going to go down into the bottom, and I'm going to have the wire going down. So I had to unwind that entire spool all the way out into my work area, and then I put the tip through first and out, so that we can try to now wrap it around. So crush the bottom part. So we crush the bottom part so that it'll fit down in there as well. And then the other thing that I got is I got my hot glue gun so that we can get ready to try to get that going. And I got myself a bag of my polyfill. This is going to actually be the cloud itself. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and start with putting this in. So I've already fed it through. I wanted to go through the top so that I could have the lights coming from the bottom. And then what I want to do is I want to wrap the lights around this on the way up, and then have the fill around the outside of it so that it can kind of be hidden, but it'll still have some structure as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a little bit of the fill down at the very, very bottom. Just go ahead and get it started. And then we're going to go ahead and get to our first light, which looks like it's this one here. And I'm going to start to do my feeding. And now I'm just going to start to kind of just wrap that around as we're coming up. The neat thing about this set of lights also is that it has a bunch of different light modes. So instead of it just being like on or like a slow, you can actually do multiple different effects. And so that's kind of what I liked, is that I can try to get something that looks like lightning, and that's kind of what we're going to try to shoot for. So that's going to be our end goal, and we're going to just kind of have to see how close to that we can actually get, I think. And crafting is always going to be some trial and error, and I just wanted to be real with all of you on how some of this stuff does and or doesn't work. And I don't want you guys to be afraid. If you guys have an idea, I don't want you to be afraid to try something, even if it doesn't work. I mean, look at that. I mean, it's already looking cool. So, so that's what we're going to try to start with. Get a little bit more of this fill in here into the top. So I figure this just kind of looks like atmosphere, like an air elemental, if you will. So this looks like D&D air. And now my theory is I can poke this excess down inside that hole. And then this does have a round loop that sticks out. So I've kind of measured it. If the loop goes on the top, the rest of it will kind of sit inside the lip of this glass. Pretty good. And that's kind of what I want, is that to be there. And I don't want to, if I can't avoid it, I don't want to glue this on here, so that if I need to later, I can pull it out, I can open it up, and I can have access to change the batteries by just opening that up and getting that out without having to destroy the entire thing. So that's why I'm trying to do it this way. It might not work out, but we're going to see. Now, in order to get our structure where we can get the fiber fill, the polyfill, to stick out in this cloud form, then I'm going to need some structure to put it to. And so that's why I've had this hot glue warming up, hot glue gun warming up, is so that we could do that. So now we've got that one going there. We're just going to try this one here. Like so. And I think we're going to want to see if we can't get something like that to hold us. That's looking pretty good. Ooh. All right. I'm thinking that's looking pretty all right. And now we want to try to get a little bit of some diagonal as well. And we'll just make sure that stays on. So that will be attached. Now the next one, I don't want it like teetering on there. So I got myself a little cutter, just roughly in the middle. And now I got two pieces, and now we can just go on either side of it and just kind of use this, the middle and the corner, and just kind of go from there. And just do the best we can to fill in the glue here. All right. Now the spell says that it is like 10 feet tall, and then it has a 60-foot radius, so 120 foot, like a giant, I guess, hockey puck, if you will. See, we gotta let this thing dry. This actually might be a good idea to go ahead. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna let this dry, and we're gonna take a quick break, and then when I come back, this will be dry, and then we're gonna start to wrap the lights on there as well. Okay, guys, so now the hot glue is all dried up, but I wanted to show you guys what I was talking about is being able to still have access to the battery pack. So little doors right here, we can still open this up. I don't want to open it so they don't fall out, but now I have access to the batteries, and again, I can just tuck the wire back down in there, and then it sits right back on top. And so we're good to go, and it's nice and stable so that it shouldn't be able to fall over, at least not very easily, on the table. So now we're going to take the rest of the lights, and we're going to try to wrap them around our structure here before we start covering it up. So I'm not going to talk, and see if we can't try to maybe zip through this quickly. Okay, so this is what we're looking like so far, and we've got some space for the lightning to go through. So now all we got to do is make it look like a cloud. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be using some hot glue to try to tack it in here and there, but the rest of this is just going to go fast forward so that we can get through it quickly, and we'll see what we end up with. See you in a few. All right, looks like we got her pretty good. So what I was doing at the very end is that's after I got the top done and took it off, I was trying to do the bottom, and then last I was seeing some of the wooden dowels sticking out, and I was just putting some glue around the tip, pulling off a little kind of like a ball, if you will, and squishing it on so it had some puffiness on the outside. So now the next steps that I'm going to do is if I want to trim any of it down, I'm just going to take the scissors and kind of strip off any of the stray parts. I'm going to hit it with just a little bit of black spray paint just to give it some of the darkness like a storm cloud would have. And then after that, I'm going to spray it with a clear coat in order to harden it up and protect it, and that should help it to not be so fragile. So I'm going to do those steps, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and look how beautiful this is that we got. So just took, initially, remember I spray painted some stuff white. I just used this can of white I got from Home Depot, 99 cents. You have to look on the floor, or bottom shelf, or at the highest shelf, because these are going to be hidden, because they don't want people buying the 99-cent ones. They want to buy the $5 ones. Right next to that, you'll also find the flat black, which I use for everything. So the flat black is what I did with this, is I just like hit it from a distance. Don't get too heavy. You're not trying to soak in the inside of the polyfill. You just want to hit the outside of it. I also took it off and I was kind of doing the bottom. I did take my blue tape and I did wrap it around the glass, so I made sure that my glass didn't get sprayed. And then after I was done with this, I did have to get more expensive version of this, so I got just a clear coat, just a clear matte finish, and I sprayed heavy with this. This is what's going to put that protection, and as you see, it makes it look more firm. And then it's going to be able to be more resilient, and it's going to hang in there. Before, of course, I did all of that. I just did a little trimming just to make it kind of not have any strays in there. And I think it looks pretty cool. So let's take a little thunderstorm look at there, as you guys can see that. Looks pretty awesome. I think it looks really, really cool. So I can tell you this, put this out on the table. First time my player casts that spell again, I'm willing to bet they're going to be pretty impressed. So if you liked the video, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, the like, the subscribe buttons. You can do us a favor and also become a Patreon. It really helps us out. And if you ever buy anything from Amazon, like most people do, hit our link first. That'll take you to Amazon. You can buy whatever you want, stuff that we recommend, stuff that you need to get anyways. You'll do your login, and that way we get credit for sending you to Amazon, and every little bit helps. So guys, till next time, have more D&D fun with DM Done.